And we're live right now. If you're watching this on the replay, you can fast forward it about 30 seconds to a minute. I'm going to go ahead and let it ride out for a second. Enjoy the music. Is that music coming in too loud, or how's it coming in, Mike? We're here with Magnificent. Magnificent is in the house.
Yes, sir.
And this has been long due, long ado. I guess that's how you say it, right?
Long overdue, yes, sir.
Overdue,
We've been working at this for months. We've been trying to connect.
Well, I'll tell you this, bro. It was good to meet you. Was it Saturday at Lake Crescent Park? Was it?
Yeah, Crescent Lake Park.
Crescent Lake Park. You see, I'm all backwards right now. I don't know. I'm nervous. I must be nervous today.
Nah, you good. You good, bro.
I'm just sober, so. You know us Proud Boys always drinking. No, I'm just kidding.
Y'all turn up.
These usually only at events or like our meetups and stuff.
Yeah.
Definitely not every day, people, all right? But, you know, we like to have a good time, definitely, man.
Yes, sir.
They had no idea Sunday that we were Proud Boys at all. Me and Eddie, I know we might get you in there maybe one day. I know you know, you got to keep your individualism now these days. Because if not, they throw you in the box, man.
Yeah. I mean, we're all on the front lines together. You know, we're all fighting this battle together. It doesn't matter if you're Proud Boy or not. We all together.
We're all a family. That's right.
Yes, sir.
So let's go ahead and start, Mike. So tell everybody, this is Magnificent. As you can see, you can look him up like that. He has a great YouTube channel that you can catch. Just tell everybody, you know, how you started and why you chose Magnificent as a name. Well, that's pretty much self-explanatory.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, like I've told the story before how I came up with my name. It was pretty much when Instagram came out. I was like new to all of this social media stuff. I really just only had Facebook, and then I got Instagram, and I saw everybody else had like some cool play of their name, and I was like, well, what can I do? And that just came to me, Magnificent. So it started out as an Instagram tag, or you know, my handle on there, and then it just, when I set up my YouTube channel, it just easily carried over. So there's not really a cool story behind it. It just kind of fell together naturally. But the real reason why I chose to get involved in politics is I felt like there was a lot going on in the country, and I was thinking there needs to be more people telling the truth. You know how it is when you first get red pilled and you're like, oh my God, you're learning all this information and you feel like you have to share it to the world. That was pretty much what happened with me. The more that I uncovered, the more I felt like I needed to speak out. So it was one day I just turned on the camera and I recorded, and I said, you know what? If I suck, I'm going to know right away. But if it takes off, I'm just going to roll with it. And the rest was history, man. And it just feels good. I feel so blessed to be where I am right now. I had no idea that 3 years ago, I was sitting in a cubicle in Minneapolis trying to climb the ladder in the rat race. And here I am 3 years later, just bought my first house, and I'm doing this YouTube thing. And it's not just about me being a self-employed entrepreneur, but it's also about doing something that's greater than myself. This isn't just about me. This is about freedom and liberty.
But you have to build yourself up. You have to build yourself up because that individualism is going to spark more fires of freedom and individualism, and you're going to motivate more people to go out there and get motivated and do what we do. And then we meet and we just become a big family, and we keep, you know, networking, and that's how we defeat this system. Now, everybody right now, if you're liking this, you need, and you're watching this right now, you need to like this, you need to share this, you need to get it out there. You know, I just started back up my MAGA tie-in page. I'm just getting back out there right now because Facebook has been playing with me. They have been playing with me hardcore, but I'm going back. I'm going hard again. I'm here on the MAGA tie-in page. We're live right now with Magnificent. Please get those likes up there. Get some likes up there. Get some shares up there. Go to Magnificent's YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe. Go to my MAGA Titan YouTube channel. Subscribe there. But get this out there. Share this to all your groups. Please share, like. It doesn't take that much to share. Like, I know you're not just here hating on me. I know you're not just here hating on us. Come on now. You're here to watch. Get your friends in here too. Let's go. We need to get this going because we're the only ones that are going to be able to push the censorship and push past the censorship. And we're going to punch through it. And just like we punch through the fake news, we're going to have to punch through the AI. So Magnificent is in the house. And Mike, so how did you start with President Trump? Have you always been a Republican? And what attracted you to President Trump?
Well, I've always been what I would consider a moderate, but I never identified as even a moderate or a Democrat or a Republican or anything. It's just the way I was raised. You know, both of my parents are very moderate, but I would say they lean more conservative. The way they raised me to be self-reliant, independent, do for myself, and don't make excuses. Those are all conservative values. If you think about it, it's all about self-accountability, but that's just how I was raised. But I never really aligned it with a political affiliation, if that makes sense. Right. And basically what happened was I was just humming along in the matrix, you know, doing my thing, having fun. I was actually partying a lot, just living the young life. And then the 2016 election happened. But really before that, and you and I talked about this before with Prince and everything he said. And like Prince actually red pilled me where I was like, whoa, chemtrails, never heard of that.
Yeah. And then that's right. We did have that conversation.
Yeah. And it kind of
I talked about Prince. If everybody doesn't know about that conversation we had, I was telling him how the night before Prince passed away, like literally hours that night before, me and my sister out of nowhere, I was talking about Prince, how we talked about chemtrails. And I saw that video years before I talked about that with her. And it's just crazy how he died the next, morning like that.
Yeah, I honestly think like I get chills even talking about it right now. This was all divinely planned out because I was living in Prince's city, Minneapolis. That is a purple city. It's not just about the Vikings purple. Prince was doing the purple before, So anyway, I'm sitting there in Minneapolis. I hear about Prince passing away. It was a rainy day, believe it or not. I was sitting there at one of those like Target, like Red Talks. It's pretty much like a TED Talk where they come in there and say, here's what you should do with your career. Your job is just a spoke and you're the wheel. Just some stuff like that to motivate me to move forward in my career. But I was feeling unsatisfied. And then that night I went and talked to my buddy. I'm like, dang, that's crazy. Prince died or whatever. He's like, you need to look in this, that, and the third. Prince was giving interviews. He was truth bombing. He was saying all this stuff. And he thinks they took Prince out. And I was like, what? That's the first time I ever heard of any of that. Next thing you know, I'm on YouTube. I come across Alex Jones. I come across InfoWars. I see the Bohemian Grove thing, like all this stuff. I went down this rabbit hole of just information overload. And then the 2016 election happened. And I was not involved in politics at all. I just knew that I wasn't satisfied with Obama. I looked at the candidates. Rand Paul was actually the guy that stood out to me.
Me as well,
Republican
dude.
Primary.
Same one.
Yeah, he was talking
about. Here comes Trump.
Right. But even before
I was like, whoa!
Trump literally came in like a wrecking ball.
But yeah.
Rand Paul was like, man, dial back the government. Like you shouldn't need a permit to go fishing and all this other stuff. I was like, that makes too much sense. So he dropped out, and I was like, well, I guess it's Hillary or Trump, and I wasn't excited about either. But I hate to admit it, I voted for Hillary, but it wasn't because I'm like, yes, I love Hillary. It was the whole brainwashing of black equals Democrat, Democrats for the minorities and the working class, all the talking points that they lie to people about. That's what made me vote Hillary. It was for lack of knowledge, right? But after the election, I didn't really care. I almost didn't even vote. But after the election, I saw Trump won. And I saw instantly the way people were responding in Minneapolis. That's the most liberal place I've ever lived in my life. I'm from Colorado, and it's very even keel. At least it used to be. People weren't really into politics, but Minneapolis, super far left. People were having meltdowns. And all the while, I'm just sitting over there like, Trump won. It's not the end of the world. I'm going to give him a chance. That was pretty much it. And next thing I know, I'm talking to people like, well, how did Trump win? Did you vote for him? And I met some friends that said they voted for Trump. And I was like, what? I'm like, the media says he's racist and all the racist people support him, but I know you're not racist. We've been friends for like 8 years. They're like, yeah, here's the reason why I voted for him. I voted for Obama. So I fast forward and I moved to Florida, right? I quit my job. I'm down in Florida. I'm doing Uber and Lyft full time. I pretty much hit the reset button. Like I'm getting out of this corporate America. I'm about to go live life and just figure it out. Well, figuring it out meant that I met a whole bunch of Republicans. Because Florida is the first Republican state or, majority Republican state I ever lived in. And I started meeting some of the nicest people in the world, having some of the greatest conversations. And people were telling me all this stuff about how the media lies and all that. And then it clicked back to the Alex Jones stuff. And I'm like, wait a minute. So it's all connected. This is crazy. And then next thing you know, I see Trump doing great things. with the economy. I saw he met with North Korea, and I'm like, dang, this is good. He should get the Nobel Peace Prize for this. Surely meeting with North Korea, being diplomatic, is something that's good, right? But nope, the media found a way to smear it, like, oh, he's cozying up to a dictator and all. And I'm just like, that's when I turned. I was like, okay, they just want this guy to fail. It's like he's the pilot. Everybody's the passenger on the plane, but because they hate the pilot, they want to see the plane go down. And I put on the MAGA hat for the first time and went to a Trump rally. Like, I'm getting to the bottom of this. If I'm going to experience racism, it's going to be at a Trump rally in Florida.
Yeah.
Lo and behold, I go there with this hat on. I'd never seen so many people high-five me, compliment me for my hat, even though they're wearing the exact same hat. It was the most amazing experience ever, honestly, because these are all strangers. And then the rest was history from there, man. I was like, man, I'm about to speak out and tell the truth because the media lies. They lie so much.
Hell yeah! So you had your real awakening at a Trump rally.
Yeah, it was crazy,
That's
and
awesome.
I was blown away. And I've been to 3 Trump rallies in Florida now.
Yeah, I think I've been to 3 or 4. I know I went to Lakeland. I went to 2 in Tampa. So yeah, that's 3. Of course, the whole Jim Acosta CNN sucks thing.
I was there. Yeah, that's crazy because that was before I knew who you were. I was a few feet away from you, I think, and we were both up there yelling CNN sucks. That was great.
I know, man. So was shout out to Eddie George, who was with us also on Saturday. He was also there, and we were all there, and we didn't even know each other. Now we know each other, and that's how it works, man. This patriot world we have here, we need to keep it strong. I know sometimes there's drama within the movement. If you get to know some people sometimes, but there's going to be drama everywhere. We have to keep our heads up and keep our heads straight, and stay in our lanes and remember that we all back the red, white, and blue, and we all back the president. We get mad at some things that President Trump says, but at the end of the day, it's like he's just playing word games, just like the Democrats do. And if he's going to lie to me about something, at least it's not. It's something positive. He could lie to me about something negative. At least he's doing the positive things, and he's saying, "Oh, I'm going to do this negative thing," but then he lies about it. If that makes sense to everybody.
Right. And that's the thing. You're supposed to get mad at your president. Why? Because he's human, and that's authenticity.
Yeah.
But it just seems like with the left, it's like even when they do something wrong, like when Obama did something wrong, the media just covered his tracks. They acted like this man was the holy shrine and everybody must worship at him. Like that dude was perfect or something. Yeah. It's like people do things that you disagree with. You get mad at your kids. Your parents get mad at you. You get mad at strangers. That's human nature. You know what I'm saying? So it's totally fine that you don't agree with everything Trump does. I don't agree with everything Trump does. I don't agree with everything he tweets, everything he says. If I did, that would be dishonesty. I would be saying that to say like, oh, I'm just a Trump loyalist. No, it's not. That's not the case. You know what I'm saying? So that's how it should be. You should be holding your leaders accountable. Right.
Yeah, we're not in a cult, but he's done so many great things. He definitely, has to dial back on the Second Amendment talk with red flag gun laws. So that's scary, but what did we learn out of that? We learned not only do the Democrats want to strip away your gun rights, they want to start with the red flag gun laws. Now you got Beto saying wants to take away your AR-15. We also learned that they want to use big tech to silence you, and they're using smart devices, this smart grid that everybody's been warning about. People don't know that would be implemented with the Agenda 21, Agenda 2030, so climate change deal they have going on, the smart grid and these super cities, what they want to do, these mega cities. But we found out that your phone's listening to you. Your smart TV's listening to you. And how do you think Facebook builds up your hate agent score? And they know what you're buying, and your score goes off of what you buy, not only what you post. It goes off what you say around your phone. Now we're living in crazy times, and it just came out today too that China has these mobile execution vans, which we already knew about because Alex Jones has been saying this for so long. And it's like he's right again. By the way, they sued the Young Turks today, too, for defamation. And another reporter, I forget as well, saying that he was pushing child porn to the Sandy Hook families, which was another lie the mainstream media pushes out there. It's disgusting. But we're waking up, man, and it's great to see that.
Yeah, man, I can't wait to meet Alex Jones and shake his hand because he dropped so much knowledge on me in a time where I wasn't necessarily ready to receive it. It was a lot to take in, and I still had my questions about it, like, is that really true? Are chemtrails real? I was listening, there's all kind of how Alex Jones blooper videos out there. We talking about turning the frogs gay and stuff. I found it to be entertaining. I was like, he might be wrong, he might be crazy, but I'm still going to listen to him because he has different ideas that I'm not hearing from the mainstream news. And if any of it's true, it's going to piss me off, and I'm going to want to tell other people. Now, fast forward to today, the dude has been right about damn near everything.
Well, he's been saying China, China, China. Everybody's like the Jews, the Jews, the Jews. And I'm saying, look, they're multinationals. There could be there's bad in everything, and there's good in everything. But it came out now. But basically, Giuliani is saying, come on, China bought Biden. The company that they put money into wasn't making any money. Joe Biden's son wasn't some special genius. They bought Biden. They bought the vice president's office. That's what he was saying. Hillary Clinton's server, you know that they were tapping into that in real time, you know, and it's just disgusting. Look at what's her name too, Dianne Feinstein.
Yep,
she was 16 years. She had a Chinese spy, 20 years, something like that. Chinese spy working with her, man. You know, so I'm not saying it's just the Chinese, but it's just crazy. It's very complex. You can't just blame one person or one country. These are multinational. That's why they call themselves globalists. That's why President Trump was at the UN yesterday and saying globalism is not going to win. The patriots are going to win. The future belongs to the patriots. That's you and me, the super elite, you know, the real people, the children of God, you know, that's who we are. We're the children of God, and they can't stand it because they have no honor. They have no dignity because they have no spirituality. They have no direction in their spirituality.
Yep. They're on the side of evil. They're working.
If they know it or not, they are.
Yeah. Like, it's not hard to see anymore. And I always have to tell my family and friends this. I'm like, okay, I get it. You don't like Trump. Cool. That's fair. But do you dislike Trump so much that you support pedophilia and infanticide and high taxes? Like, what does the Bible say about taxes? What does the Bible say about prostitution? And what's the other thing? I'm trying to think of the word. But pretty much immorality, sexual immorality. What does the Bible say about that kind of stuff? If you're religious and you grew up going to church, which most Black people did, most people in my family, I'm like, okay, how can you still support this party? And a lot of people don't even know why they support the party. They just know what they've been told about the Republicans. Now, before I go any further, I also want to point out that the two-party system is a flaw. That is basically the greatest hoax played on Americans, the illusion of choice, that you're going to choose between a Democrat and a Republican. Well, both parties are corrupt. They're in bed together. The Republican Party, in my opinion, has strong principles. Yeah, John McCain, Rhino, Mitt Romney.
Mitt Romney, look at him now,
a lot of these rhinos, they're Republican in name only. They're controlled opposition to the Democrats. And it used to just be like, we'll give you welfare if you give us warfare. But either way, it's not good for the people. It doesn't serve the interests of the people.
I mean, look at the Bushes, too. Look at the Bushes, you know, and the Carlyle group when they were doing business with the Bin Ladens, you know. The Bin Ladens, dude, I mean, it's just crazy. And then, you know, Bin Laden was CIA trained. And President Trump, I guess they just took out Bin Laden's son the other day. That's what was reported.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I heard about that. Man.
And what a difference, you know, in presidents. You know, I don't know about if I believe the official story about Obama or Osama himself, Bin Laden, being killed and just thrown into the ocean because he was Muslim, you know. But, you know, I don't know if I don't know. I don't want to disrespect anybody that was there, you know, SEAL Team 6. I don't want to disrespect anybody. I don't know exactly the main story, but I know that something's going on. I know something happened on 9/11. Nobody wants to talk about it. But, you know, it's crazy. Larry Silverstein, nobody even knows the third building fell. You know, Larry Silverstein was saying, pull it. He pulled the building. Who was the BBC that they reported that building 7 fell and it was right behind her, the lady, while she was saying that the building already fell. You know, these things happen. The thermite, you know, it's that was untraceable. But this is just crazy. You know, something happened. We don't know exactly what happened, but our country since 9/11 has never been the same. And whether it's the Patriot Act, Jade Helm, our civil liberties are vanishing before our eyes. They are, and the Democrats are after it, and they want communism. They straight up do, and there's people out there that me and you go to talk to that are openly communist. They're openly communist in America now. That's what we're back at. That's the cycle we're back in.
And it shows you just how effective the propaganda is, because look at how they're using kids. Kids leaving school early, skipping class, going to march in the
elementary school. Elementary school.
It's like they're marching in the streets to demand the change of their own enslavement. Like the way that they're using kids, it goes back to the spiritual warfare aspect. It is literally evil to manipulate and use children as human shields, or to sacrifice them, take advantage of them, kill them. This is what the left supports, top to bottom. It's like, well, it's a woman's right to choose, okay? But then if the baby's born, it's like, let's dope them up with a bunch of vaccines and put garbage in their foods and then brainwash their minds from the time they're in elementary school all the way up until they're college graduates.
Let's spray massive amounts. Let's spray massive amounts of aluminum while we terraform the planet, while we seed the clouds, while we dim the sun, while we kill the plants, while we poison Americans, while we poison people worldwide, while we put metal in their body, while we give them Alzheimer's and all these diseases, dude. It's disgusting, and it's happening. And then they're saying, "Oh, well, it's your fault, though." And as a matter of fact, you breathe out, you exhale carbon dioxide. That's the worst thing possible. We're going to have to reduce that. Don't worry. Bill Gates will show you how. Look on TED TV. He talks straight up about how you lower the number of carbon dioxide. It is by depopulation. He said if we do really good with vaccines, we can get that number down. Bill Gates.
Yeah. It's
you think Bill Gates came up with all that technology? You think he's the one that was doing all that shit? Get the fuck out of here. Right. I don't mean to curse, but that's, I'm trying not to curse so much on streams anymore. But anyway, I'm sorry, people, for that. I won't do it again. But, it's crazy. We're not living in Kansas anymore. But like I always said, we're not living in Kansas anymore. But if we're in the movie, The Wizard of Oz, President Trump is Toto because he's pulling back the curtain. He's pulling back the curtain. Yep.
Just his physical presidency has been a blessing. It's been a blessing. That's why I say this is God's. This conversation we're having right now this was divine order. This was God's doing, because he answered my prayers. I wanted to get away from where I was at. I wanted to get out of my that situation I was in with work. And now I'm down here and I'm loving what I'm doing. This is amazing. And we're on the right side of history. This is literally the right side, the side that stands up for freedom and rights for the unborn, the side that's against pedophilia and everything else that they're doing.
That's right.
My man Anomaly went on Fox News, Laura Ingraham, the other night. He hit the nail on the head. He said what they're doing is they're shining a laser pointer like they do for a cat to distract people. It's all projection. They're like, hey, look at Russia. Look at Russia. Meanwhile, China's the one that's subverting our freedoms over here.
Yep.
Look what China's doing. Or they're like, oh, look at Trump and his whatever he's doing. But it's like Joe Biden over here. It's like, well, Donald Trump took a picture with Jeffrey Epstein. I'm like, so you're just going to ignore that Bill Clinton was on his pedophile island 26 times, Lolita Express or whatever? It's just classic projection. It's like pointing the finger when you're the one that's guilty. It's crazy that they're doing it. So many people fall for it. So many people are just like, yeah, I see that. That's what I'm going to look at. Whatever they point to is what I'm going to look at. Nobody questions their reality anymore. They just go with the flow. They just get spoon-fed stories and narratives.
That feeds right into Saturday. So speaking of people being spoon-fed the narrative, the word of the day Saturday was weapons of war. And I was asking, of course, about Beto taking away the AR-15. A lot of people were for it. But then they said, no, it could never happen. The government will never forcefully take away the firearms that people deny, to give them up. So voluntarily. And just let's talk about Saturday. Nobody knew what chemtrails were. People talking about climate change and things like that. They know what chemtrails are, but the real word, stratospheric aerosol injections. Every time I ask that question, you know what stratospheric aerosol injections are? They're so about climate change. They have no idea. And they say chemtrails. And I said, listen, chemtrails are already admitted, And I did a video about this the other day. I dropped it. We got Ed, or the ex of the head of the CIA, John Brennan, talking about stratospheric aerosol injections. You got David Keith, geoengineering scientist from Harvard, talking about this, how it kills up to 1 million people a year on the Stephen Colbert show. If they admit that it kills up to 1 million people a year, what else is it doing to our health? You know? And in Shasta County in California, you had pilots, you had doctors, you had scientists, and they were all there talking about what's going on and how the aluminum is being pumped into the air and how it's bad health effects. You know, it's crazy, man. It's crazy to see this going on now. And I'm just tired of it because really, I woke up and I got tired of it because I'm like, man, GMOs, you know, man, aluminum being sprayed all over the sky, man, fluoride in the water. And, you know, first record of water fluoridation was in Hitler's Nazi camps. So you put all these things together and you're like, man, is this just like a huge science project? Are we just like a huge science project? Is that what we are? Is that how they treat us? Are we just rats in a lab? We are.
And we're pretty much living in a simulation. And this is how you know that the mind control is real and it works, because the truth is right there in plain sight, but people refuse to see it, right? I don't understand how people can't think critically and piece it together. They predicted 9/11 on comic book covers from the 50s and 60s. They've been telling us what they were going to do. Look at like with these mass shootings. How can somebody survive 2 mass shootings and meet up with someone else who also survived those same 2 mass shootings? They're at a 3rd mass shooting and they just so happen to do an interview together. Come on.
Right.
Or with the 9/11 stuff. Like, it was really easy to see, like, okay, they said the Pentagon got hit with an airplane. Okay. A big, Boeing 757 jet.
Pentagon that has cameras all over it.
And also, there wasn't an airplane size hole in the Pentagon. So how is it that they just have this little tiny strip?
Right. And the way that the burning, like the patterns of how it was burned, schools with papers untouched right next to where it was burned. Yeah. I mean, come on, something happened. You know, they also told us recently too, we used to talk about the FEMA camps. Remember the FEMA camps? They're still, I'm pretty sure they're still open now. They're not full. Maybe they have illegals in them. I'm not sure. But remember them saying the Walmart, there's no such thing as Walmart FEMA camps. But what happened after there was a hurricane in Texas? They used the Walmart FEMA camps to store people in there, to keep them safe, right? To put them in shelters. So, you know, it's crazy. They lie to us, and then we're just like, look, we got it figured out. And then you got people cheering that voted for Hillary when she said, and no offense to you, but I'm joking, of course. But she said, oh, adults need camps. They need camps. And everybody's like, yeah, we need camps. That's right. Yeah, we're gonna put you in camps, and everybody cheers for that. You know, people need to wake up to who these people really are. You've been sold out. We've been sold out. But thank God for President Trump. Thank God that he's fighting back for the American people. It's disgusting to even see the other side trying to impeach him when Nancy Pelosi went today talking about how bad President Trump is and what he did was bad and he broke the law. But then they asked her, Did you read the transcript? No, I haven't read it yet. And I don't know if she's drinking too much or what, and I'm not making fun of anybody with dentures, but doesn't she have enough money to like get some super glue or something in there? Oh yeah. Like, I don't know what's going on with her.
Yeah, she's a multimillionaire. And that's the thing with a lot of these politicians, the audacity that someone like John Lewis or Maxine Waters or Sheila Jackson Lee or Nancy Pelosi can get up there and talk about how corrupt Trump is when they've literally run districts into the ground in their decades-long careers in politics. These are some of the most corrupt people to walk the face of the earth, but yet they have the audacity to call out Trump and say Trump is corrupt. Trump needs to step down. Our democracy's at stake. You know those little taglines they always read.
When she said the word Constitution, I almost spit all over the room, because when they say the word Constitution, it's such a joke. I mean, it's bad enough that we let everything happen to our Constitution, and we just let it get torn away amendment by amendment. But dude, I'm sorry, I can't listen to the Democrats talk about the Constitution at all. It's just a joke. It really is a joke. They don't want freedom for America because they sold us out. They're globalists. They've sold us out. Maxine Waters, Nancy Pelosi, Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, Joe Biden. We can go all the way down the list. None of them are good. Elizabeth Warren. we're talking about Sunday. A lot of people, I was asking about 2020, they like Elizabeth Warren because she's the front runner right now. When this lady lied about being Indian so she could get through school.
Right. How's that not being talked about? That's what I was saying out there when we were talking to those people. I'm like, you guys don't actually care about racial issues or anything like that. Because if you did, you would be calling out Elizabeth Warren. She literally pretended to be another race. For as much as they talk about, how minorities have it so bad, why do white Democrats, want to be minorities?
Yeah.
Why is Sean King pretending to be black? Rachel Dolezal, Elizabeth Warren, why are these people pretending to be minorities? If being a minority is so rough, it doesn't make any sense. And for Elizabeth Warren to be the front runner, they're treating her as she's an authentic, real person. She's a plastic politician. She's a shapeshifter. She used to be a Republican. She has more moderate policy positions, but she's pretty much just taken Bernie's platform and put it inside of a woman. So she will be the front runner. She will get the nomination. And I keep telling people, it's already in the bag. Elizabeth Warren will be the nominee. The reason why is because they can play the victimhood identity politics card when it's time for Trump. It'll be like Hillary Reloaded. It's like, oh, Trump, you're a sexist. They need that victim card to be at maximum potency so they can hit Trump from several angles. If it's just Bernie Sanders or Joe Biden, it's an old white man versus an old white man.
They're scared. They're scared. And that's funny too.
It's like, I'm the woman. I got all the minorities with me.
That's right.
Come for me. Like, that's how they're going to attack Trump. They need it to be a woman.
They're scared because President Trump's at 53% approval rating when Obama was at 44% at this time. Oh, Trump is ready to take over. Remember the guy Saturday that was bothering me? He kept coming after me. And he was like, oh, Trump's got the Latinos. Oh, and he's got the blacks. And I'm like, sir, can you check your white privilege? Why are it's always the crazy white liberals attacking us and telling us how we should think. Mm-hmm. And then they go and vote for, and I don't care. I'm just saying it's just a hypocrisy that they're voting for a white person. And it's like, but then they say that, whites are the number one problem. White males are the number one on CNN. Don Lemon, number one threat in the USA. And, they also said right wingers were as well. But they say so much bad things about white people. You have all black graduations going on at Harvard. I mean, this is the kind of separation we have now, but they're still going to vote for someone like Elizabeth Warren because, hey, F that orange guy. Mm-hmm. The orange guy. Don't hate anybody for their color, but hate that orange guy.
Yeah, white liberals, that whole phenomenon of white liberals telling minorities they're oppressed. I can't tell you how many white Democrats have tried to sell me my own victimhood. They're like, you're oppressed. America is racist. And I have white privilege. And I'm like, no, you don't. I'm your equal. I'm more privileged than a lot of white people. I probably have a higher credit score than a lot of white people. So it's not about race. It's about the decisions you make.
Right.
And oh, by the way, minorities from all over the world cross oceans, risk death, sacrifice so much just to come here. Not to be oppressed, but because this is the least oppressive country in the world, the least racist, least sexist, least homophobic country on planet Earth. That's not even up for debate. And that's why I love going and talk to these liberals, because I'm like, can you tell me which country is better for any person of color to live in? Name one country where you can achieve what you have achieved here. That's what I would have said if I were Candace Owens right there. And I know she was on the spot. I don't know what she was thinking at that time, but I would have been like, T.I., okay, you are one of the richest black people in the world.
Exactly.
And you got your wealth in America, where the majority of your fan base doesn't even look like you. If you had every black person in America buy your album, you wouldn't go platinum. There's no way you could sell as many records as you do. You are successful because you live in America, where you can be successful regardless of your skin color. And that's what I love telling these white liberals who love to sell me my oppression, because it's a way for them to feel better about themselves. They want
to push it back on us, dude.
Yeah.
When was America great? Oh, you must be talking about slavery. It's like, oh, come on. I'm not talking about slavery. Come on. Like, how about America was great before we started funding and arming ISIS and Al Qaeda? How about it was great before we started arming the Mexican cartel, or spying on presidents, or still spying on presidents, or targeting the conservatives and Tea Party members with the IRS? How about it was great? You know, this is.
You can go down the list.
America is great. America will always be great. The West is great. The West brought freedom. You know, and if you want to talk about the Republican Party, we know there's some corrupt Republicans, but the idea of Republicans was what it started to free the slaves. That's what the Republican Party is.
Right. That's what I said.
Abraham Lincoln freed the slaves. That's why I use him on my logo, because he freed the slaves, and and that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to free the slaves mentally, because that's what's going on. Is people are mentally enslaved, not only because they're being poisoned, but because everything you see is propaganda. It's on your Instagram, it's on your Facebook, it's on everything. And even if you're not looking at your Instagram or Facebook, guess what? Yahoo through Google is going to send you your news anyway.
Yep.
They're going to send you your notifications. Hey, Trump did this today, impeach Trump. You're going to get all that stuff. And it's nonstop. And then guess what? You're going to watch a movie, F Trump in the movie. Guess what? You're going to watch an award show, F Trump. You go anywhere you go, you put a MAGA hat on, F Trump. F you. You're a race traitor. Well, hold on. I'm sorry I don't hate myself. I'm sorry I don't hate America. I'm sorry I don't blame America for every bad thing that it's done. Just because we have corrupt people, listen, life is like that, left and right, good and bad. It's going to be like that in everything. But what we have to do is save America. We have to come together like we did after 9/11 before something really bad happens and we really get into a civil war.
And the best way to do that is, in my opinion, this is what I'll be doing, calling out evil. You have to call evil by its name. A lot of these people on the left are Luciferians. They're Satanists. How is it okay for a little kid, Desmond is amazing, to go on Good Morning America and take off his clothes and dance in a sexual manner in front of adults? Drag story hour. That is literally evil. Late term, afterbirth abortions. That stuff is evil. These people are liars. They're manipulators. They're propagandists. They're living in an upside down, inverted world. And they're totally fine with it. They denounce God. They denounce Christianity. They openly attack Christianity, right? They run roughshod over Christianity. That's the only religion that they'll attack, even though Islam is way more conservative than Christians. It's never been reformed. It's the only religion where you can still to this day find videos on YouTube of them holding up human heads, right? I don't want to hear anything about the Christian crusades back in the day. That was obviously bad. But what Christian today is practicing hate in that way, right? They attack Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A employs everybody. Gay people work there, black people, Hispanics, everybody works there. Chick-fil-A is a wholesome, successful company. That is God protecting his children, right? That is God stepping in when evil exists. Look at how the Democrats are always on the side of evil. It's always the side of evil, whether you're talking about slavery, lynchings, Jim Crow, or when they desegregated the schools and they were out there intimidating, shouting at black children, or now with Antifa, or with the gun restrictions. They want to ban guns in cities because they're siding with criminals. Nancy Pelosi said MS-13, they have divine spirits. And, you know, what about the spark of divinity?
That's right.
They side with criminals.
And when Trump called them animals, and he was right when he called them animals.
These people are straight up criminals, bro. Look at every freaking Democrat-run city. They're freaking criminals. Ted Wheeler. I shouldn't even know these Democrat mayors' names. Ted Wheeler.
Look at Ed Buck.
Ed Buck, that guy. But like Libby Schaff.
But he's not a politician, but still, he was a big donor.
Yeah, big time donor. And all the donors, oh my gosh, all of the pedophiles, sex offenders, human traffickers donate big dollars to the Democrat Party.
Laura Silsby caught trafficking kids from Haiti to the Dominican Republic, and then Hillary Clinton gets her out of it. Yeah. You know, I mean, and then people of Haiti know the corruption of the Clintons. You know, that's who that people need to talk to. You want to talk to people? How about you talk to the people in Libya, where now the slavery is going on right now? Okay, they have slave blocks right now because of Hillary and because of Obama and because of that administration and because they went in, they toppled Gaddafi and they left it wide open for extremists and terrorists that were being funded and armed by them as well. Why do you think Benghazi happened? Because they didn't want anybody to know that they were pushing weapons. And that's how do you think ISIS got all those new orange jumpsuits for their videos and that top quality production and all those Toyota trucks? You think they didn't write that off? You think that wasn't written off by your tax dollars? You think that all these immigrants are coming over here, these illegal immigrants, excuse me, are coming over here from Mexico? They're traveling all the way over here without getting some type of payment, without getting back, without food, without water, without hitching a ride? This is all happening. Cloward and Piven situation, Agenda 21, crash the borders. No borders, no wall, no USA at all. That's what they want. They want the end to America. They want the end to your freedom. That's what they want. And when we say they, we say the globalists. And whether it's Soros or anyone else, we need to hold these people accountable. We need to stop pussyfooting around. We need to stop playing games, and we need to tell President Trump, we love what you're doing. We know that you got something worked up. I do feel like what President Trump is doing right now, before I even finish that sentence, I feel like he set them up. I feel like him and Giuliani had a plan, and they said, how do we get these people to prosecute? We got to make it seem like we got to do what they do. That's what he said. We got to flip it on them like they do. They play all these head games, all these word games, because they're all lawyers. So let's do this. Let's set ourselves up. Let's have them look into it. And then, hey, when they look into it, they're going to find their corruption. And it's the same thing with the Russia investigation. It should have been caught. But maybe now something will happen because they're going to push this on Trump. And now they're pushing impeachment as well. So, and then people have been saying too, well, if they can even go into impeachment hearings and what's going to happen, they're going to have witnesses like James Comey, McCabe, Clinton, and all these people, right, are going to have to be involved. And then they're going to have to bring out investigations into them as well. So this could be a good thing all the way around for President Trump. My thing is right now, it would be a perfect time for them to take him out. So I know he has an army behind him. I know he has an awesome team behind him, security team, but they need to be extra careful. I just hope he was setting them up. Excuse me. And I think that's what is going on. Is he playing 4D chess or what? What do you think?
I think he is. I really do, because he's not a dummy. He's always a step ahead of them. You don't think when he tweets,
and the transcript came out so quick too.
Yeah. As soon as he tweets something, he already knows how they're going to respond to it. He knows how to get a reaction out of them. It's a 24/7 tirade against this man. And it's coming from academia, Hollywood, the media, foreign governments, past presidents, rank and file Republicans. Everybody that's against this man is constantly focusing on destroying him. And all he's doing is diverting them. All he does is everything that he does, they have to respond to. It doesn't matter what he does. He does something good. He knows how they're going to react to it. They're like, damn. Well, even though not bombing Iran is a good thing, we have to oppose Trump at all costs. So I guess we got to criticize this. That's waking people up where they're like, wait a minute, you guys are pro-war now? You guys are for this? Like, it doesn't make sense. So he knows that when they do that, when they have that overreaction to everything he does, the extreme opposite position of him, that just wakes more people up. And with this latest, let's impeach him over this garbage with Ukraine, that's just helping him coast to 2020. But let me also say this. We can't be complacent going into 2020. On paper, it looks like, yeah, Trump should win in a landslide. He should flip several blue states red. Republicans should regain the House. But that's not how it works. We know that the Democrats are going to cheat. We know that they're going to ballot harvest. We know that illegals are flooding in. They're going to do what they can to flip the election. They got everybody on their side. Big banks, Wall Street, big tech, big pharma, foreign governments like China planting propaganda in like local newspapers in Iowa, trying to get the farmers to turn against them in the trade wars.
It came out that China bought Reddit too, and they're pushing propaganda in Reddit, and they push InfoWars off of Reddit and everything.
Yep, China owns everything.
And they're working with Apple. They're working with Apple to silence political dissidents in China with the Dragonfly system. And that's what we're seeing now with the censorship and that whole hate agent score. And that's what they're building up because they want AI to control everything. That's including any decision on whether or not you should be able to own a firearm or what your well-being is or what your social score is. How good are you? Will you go with the New World Order? Will you accept the chip? Will you accept the agenda? Will you accept the the demonic agenda is how I look at it. You know, it's a new world order agenda. To me, it's satanic at the end of the day.
100%.
I mean, if it's really satanic, if it's the devil itself, or it's just a spirit of evil, it's definitely something evil, because taking away freedom is evil, period, point blank. And if you don't have the right to own a firearm, because that's what they're going for, all out, take away your firearms. I had people Sunday telling me, and you were watching this, I'm asking them, like, oh, they're only coming for your AR-15, that you have plenty of other options. Oh, so what's next? You know, what's weapon of war, weapon of war, weapon of war? What else did you take away from Saturday? I know they called it a We the People March, right? And so you saw, there was even a lady that was a gun owner there, but she still was for taking away the AR-15s.
Yeah.
And they were Democrats. They're trying to push like they're conservative Democrats, maybe. But they weren't.
You know, honestly, my biggest takeaway from Saturday was that, you know, they weren't as far off the deep end as I thought they would be. You know, like every time I go to one of these rallies, I'm expecting to see what I would see on like Liberty Hangout or something, where it's just crazy leftists. These were just liberals. You know, there's a difference between liberals and leftists. Like I was telling you Saturday, these were liberals. They're brainwashed. A lot of them are brainwashed.
Most of them. There was a couple.
Most of them. There were a few leftists over there. But for the most part, these people are just, they actually probably have good hearts. They don't understand that they're on the wrong side of history. Like I had a pretty good conversation with a lady who had the F racism shirt on. And I educated her on how white privilege isn't a thing. It's not real. There's several different kinds of privilege, and skin color is not one of them. You know, and so like those people, you can actually have conversations with them. Those are the people that I feel like have hope. There's still a lot of hope for them because they're not so gone off of the deep end. But yeah, they're on the wrong side of what I believe is a lot of the arguments, you know, especially as it relates to like the Second Amendment, the First Amendment, their anti-Trump stance. I get that. I pretty much don't even really fault people for being anti-Trump, because two things can be true at the same time. Somebody can dislike Trump, but still vote for him because of his policies and his America First agenda. That can be true. That's probably going to be true for some people in my family. They're like, I don't like Trump. That is not a guy that I like.
Right.
But as it relates to him versus the Democrats, I'm voting for him. That's all we need. We don't need people to love Trump. We don't need people to wear MAGA hats and go to rallies. We don't need that. We need them to stand in solidarity with us to fight for the country and the freedoms that we have, because the Democrats are no longer really the Democrats. They are socialist communists.
That's right. That's what Democrats are no longer. I always say that the Democrats are not. We give them too much credit. Don't call them Democrats anymore. They're communists. They're the anti-American party. You just hit that. You hit that nail right on the head, bro. You hit that nail right on the head. That's so true. They're not the Democrats anymore. We give them too much credit.
Way too much.
It's all their word games that they always play with us. Well, Mike, it's been great, man. We've been on here for an hour. I'm sure we could do another hour, no problem, bro. So I appreciate you coming on. Make sure everybody you check out Mike Magnificent on YouTube. Do you have any other channels or just the YouTube? That's it.
You can find me on BitChute. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Magnificent. Okay. If you type in Magnificent813 on all of those platforms, I should pop right up.
Okay, cool. Is there anything else you wanted to tell anybody before you go?
No, not really. I mean, just check me out on those other platforms. Things are going to be stabilizing for me. I've been kind of all over the place with moving and all that, but I'm about to be on here a whole lot more. So if you want to get more of my content, just subscribe to me on YouTube, find me on Facebook. I'm always posting things. And yeah, we're going to save this country, because it is not just about me giving my opinion on the internet and just throwing my weight around. I'm spitting facts here. Right. And God called me to this mission. Like, I've been given wisdom. I understand I don't know everything. That's part of being smart, is understanding that you don't have all the answers. So I'm always
when you're armed with truth, you know that you're on the right path. And so when you have that, we have that fire and that delivery, that dragon energy, because we know that God has put us here to, stick up for the future, because we might not be out there, in a bloody revolution right now, but we are definitely in the middle of an information war.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, man.
Well, hey, man, thank you, Mike. Thank you so much for coming on the show. And we're going to have more interviews coming up, and we'll definitely bring Mike back.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me on, man.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. Make sure you like and share and put it in all your groups. Peace. And remember, we are the revolution.